Now, for most people, reaching retirement age means giving up work and enjoying a life of leisure. But not John Cundick from Warminster. He started with the glove manufacturer Dents in 1949 and shows no sign of calling it a day. First, a lesson in how to make a very expensive pair of gloves. Take a piece of premium leather. Then master the 32 different stages of production. And don't change the process for 236 years. And this is the chap who'll make sure this latest pair is every bit as good as the very first. John Cundick is all about quality control.
I'm looking at these 3 lines which are called points. See if they're straight, no loose threads.
Dents have been making gloves and accessories since 1777, and although John hasn't been working that long, he's pretty well established.
I started for Dents in 1949 in September.
Happy birthday to you.
He recently celebrated a very significant birthday with his colleagues.
Thank you very much. I should keep on quality checking. Looking after the girls downstairs.
Flicking elastic bands.
Oh, I leave tomorrow.
He's quite bad-tempered at times, but a great personality. And, you know, it's such a benefit to the company to have somebody with that much experience.
With 64 years under his belt, John's by far the longest-serving member of staff.
My first job was postboy, right at the bottom. Very important in those days because everything was sent by post. Hundreds of letters every day coming in and going out. All that had to be sorted.
He's not the only one with an impressively long track record.
I've just started my 50th year. You have to enjoy your job. And I get a big variation of what I do.
What Dennis doesn't know about glove making isn't worth knowing.
My main job is to buy the leather, sort it, check it, put it up to the orders, pass it on to the cutter, who examines the skin, cuts the gloves. Everything has to match.
So they don't get separated along the way. These pieces are numbered before being sent to the stamping machine, which cuts out the shapes. And there's an awful lot of them.
On this board are all the components required to make one pair of gloves. The 2 tranks, 2 thumbs, 2 gussets, the side walls of the fingers, the fourchettes, and the base of the finger, the quirks. I've been working here at Dents for 14 years, and for that I'm called the new boy. It's a very pleasant place to work. Pleasant for several reasons. I actually love leather. I love the feel of leather, the texture of it. It's a very interesting material to deal with. But down really to people I work with. That's the pleasure of it. We're a nice family atmosphere, friendly, and a product to deal with which we're very proud of.
And Dents is very proud of the gloves in its museum. Some date back hundreds of years. Pride of place goes to 2 royal gloves. On the right is one of 2 made for the Queen's coronation, the other worn by the first Queen Elizabeth. While these have a license to kill.
I think there's a lot more to Dents than just the heritage. I started working here for Dents 23 years ago. I think people work here for a long time. They come and stay usually because it's a very nice family atmosphere, and we have a quality ethos that most people buy into and actually get pleasure from working here.
I mean, I had chances many years ago of changing jobs, but I didn't do that, no.
But John wasn't destined to remain in the post room. There was travel in store.
When I was a director and going abroad buying all the merchandise, and that opened my eyes and got me out of the country and abroad and mixing with all sorts of people, business people abroad. That widened my outlook considerably.
John's played his part in Dents' global success. The company turns over about £15 million a year, selling a product which has been made more or less the same way for the past 200 years. Traditional sewing machines now do most of the hard work, but for some processes, there's no substitute for hand stitching.
The points is decoration on the back of the glove. You actually perforate the holes and then somebody will sew them through by hand. I started work in 1969. I just love making, actually. I actually make the gloves, and I actually do love making. And I always have done, regardless of how it's changed or whatever. I really enjoy making the gloves.
Oh, the sewing machine, a girl's best friend.
So I'm joining the forgets, which are the middle pieces of the finger.
It takes up to 8 hours to join together the whole jigsaw of pieces which go into each pair of gloves. Once the seams are completed, they're ready for lining. The cuffs are finished and they're ready for ironing. Over to John for the ultimate verdict.
They're fine for colour. I'm just matching them up now to show that they're the same length and the same width. These are very good, excellent. They're fine, ready to go.
These will set someone back over £100, but for John, they represent a job well done.
Hope everybody's okay. Have a good night's sleep. On with your work then, please. Thank you. It's better to have a job you like than a job which just may pay slightly more and is not as good to work for. Well, I come in every day thinking I'm going to finish, and one of these days I'll come in and finish. And that will be it.